Hello everyone, welcome. In today's tutorial, I want to talk about sharpening. Now, a lot of people just want to move the slider over in Lightroom and be done with sharpening, but there's a lot of little things you can do to help really improve your photo with sharpening, and it's not always the same for every photo. So I have two very distinct photos up here. One of I think it's a peacock, or for me, I don't know what you call this bird, I forgot. And also one of the Petronas towers. Now these are also taken two different type of lenses. They're also two different type of photos. So I'm going to show you how to sharpen one photo, then how to sharpen the other photo, because it's different for both. And I thought these two examples would be really good for everybody to learn with. Okay, let's first take our bird photo and open it into the develop module. Okay, I need to actually click on my bird. Here we go. And there we go. Now I got the photo pulled in here. Now also this photo was taken ISO 1250, which is not really that high for the Canon 80D. So this is not a photo tutorial about noise reduction. Although to properly sharpen this photo, we got to properly add a little bit of noise reduction to it. For this particular one, if we zoom in here, I believe this is like a yes, a 2:1 zoom. I can see there's a little bit of noise. Actually not that bad, but I'm going to add some I think probably a 20 to 25 in the noise reduction here and see if that helps. Of course you can turn it on and off. Yeah, and I think that works pretty good here. And of course color noise, all high ISO photos always bring the color noise up to default. Alright, well, this is not a tutorial about noise reduction. I've had two other tutorials on those. I'll post a link for down in the description, and also put a link to those in the cards. Okay, now I want to go over sharpening here, because to get this photo to look its best, we're going to have to sharpen quite a bit. Now, zoomed out, it looks pretty decent. There's a little bit of sharpening we can do, and I'll do some before and after so you can see the difference in these two. So let's zoom in here right quick and start adding sharpening here. By default, Lightroom adds a 25 for radius of 1.0 and a detail of 25. And of course 0 on the masking. I had to pull that back out. And the reason Lightroom automatically defaults to 25 for these settings is that most cameras have an anti-aliasing filter. So this anti-aliasing filter actually softens the image up just a little bit. This is just enough to kind of counteract that. Now some cameras don't have an anti-aliasing filter like the 5DSR, as well as most of your Nikon D7000 series cameras like the D7200 don't have an anti-aliasing filter. I'm pretty sure the D500 doesn't have an anti-aliasing filter either, which can introduce more ray and stuff, but it does help make the photo overall sharper. So like I said, each one of them has their own little different amounts of sharpening you have to do, but like I said, the default here is to counteract the anti-aliasing filter. Now let's take a probably mumble anymore here. Let's actually look at the photo here. Now I thought this would be a really good photo to show you and demonstrate sharpening on, because these feathers here are very small on this bird here, and it's going to really help show you how much sharpening can help here and the proper way to do it. So anyway, first thing I want to do is I notice how soft the image is, and then really how soft it is about how much radius you want to apply here. So I'm going to slide the radius over, and you can see it doesn't really change much at the moment. But let me slide the sharpening amount over, and you can see that really adds a lot of little dark splotches, and it looks a lot like noise, but it does help with the sharpening. Let's remove that, turn it off, and you can see here, made a little bit softer, and pull it back up. And you can see there's a touch more sharpness to it. But that's the maximum sharpening, but that's not the proper way. Let me zoom back here on the head. You see all these black splotches. I don't know how bad YouTube's algorithm is going to soften the video. But you can see a lot of little dark mosaic type pattern across the image here. We don't really want that. Okay, so what we're going to do here is I'm going to actually bring the radius up. And as you notice, when I bring the radius up, the mosaic pattern gets more defined, bigger, blotchier. And if we zoom back out, you can see it kind of looks good from a distance. Let's zoom back in here. All right. So what we want to do is we want to find a happy medium for all this to actually look good. Now I'm going to pull this down to about 75 because that's a good amount of sharpening for this particular photo. And I'm going to pull the radius down to about 2. I want around 2 on this particular image. Now let's pull the detail up. You notice the detail, you pull it up, it kind of loses a lot. And this really defines how much it's going to apply. Not the amount of in the slider. A lot of people think the amount you throw in the top is actually how much sharpness. It really is, but the detail is actually how much it applies into that particular area and how much you want it to actually bring out. So I'm going to pull this detail over to about 75 here. Let's see if we can slide our radius back. And we're going to pull the radius until everything looks just about crisp. Alright. Now, we'll see here, we'll get it look right. Let's see, 2.4 is too much. Pull back. And somewhere about 1.8 is looking pretty good. Now you can hit the Alt key and hold it, and you can get a little gray screen here. And you get a better idea. Yeah, about 2.2 is looking pretty good right there. About 2.5, let me see. I think it's looking pretty good. Let's zoom back out. And it's actually looking quite sharp now. Now there's a lot of heavy sharpening. And we can reduce this down just a little bit. But we can also hit the Alt key, which is also the Option key on the Mac. You get a gray scale. Because looking at gray, you get to see where the things look the sharpest. I think actually about 82 is actually looking really good there if I'm going too overboard. And once we get that done, it's looking pretty good, but we don't want it on everything. We can then hit the masking and slide this over until actually, we're going to rephrase that. You can slide the masking over, and the area in white is where the sharpening is going to be to apply it. So we don't want it in the out of focus areas. We don't want it on things that don't have much detail to them, like the background here. All we want is really on the face. Now, this actually is quite good right here. So I'm going to turn off the detail here. You can see a little before and after. You probably don't notice that much. Let me zoom in here. Actually, I'm going to do a 1-to-1 zoom. This is a 2-to-1. There we go. This is the before and after. Before again and after. Yeah. So yeah, it's quite a bit. The key is on the sharpening though is really just like it goes with noise reduction is how large of a print you're going to put this on. The larger the print, the more careful you have to be. But the smaller the print, you can kind of exaggerate the sharpening a little bit and make the image look sharper without people noticing there's sharpening added in post. But I think this particular one looks really good. And like I said, I'm viewing this on a 32-inch display, so it's about a 17-inch print. That sharpening looks pretty good for that amount of size. Now I have another one here. We go back to the library module. And we got the Petronas towers. Let me pull these in here. And actually click on the develop, so to pull it into the develop module. Alright, now let's zoom in here. This is a 1-to-1 zoom. I'm going to kick it up to about a 2-to-1. There ain't much difference, but it's a little bit there. Okay, now we have window detail, architecture, and this is also a different lens. If I'm not mistaken, I took this with 18-35 art, so this is a much sharper lens. And of course, since this is a much sharper lens, we have to do a little bit difference on the noise reduction stuff. Alright, yeah, it was 18-35. And before I even get started, just cause it's bothering me, I'm going to get rid of some of that green chroma. I don't like to look at it. There we go. Oh, go. Alright. Now let's go over here to our sharpening stuff. Now, ISO 200, so 10 or 11 on the noise reduction is all you're really going to need. I'm not even going to touch color noise reduction because it's perfect. That's all you really need for this particular photo. Low ISO, you're good to go. No shadow areas, good to go. So everything's here is about sharpening. Now let's I got sharpening turned completely off, but we can go ahead and double click, set everything to the default, and this is how much the default sharpening would be. So without sharpening, with sharpening, without. Then you see the anti-alias filter did soften it up just a little bit. So let me reapply the default here. Now for this particular one, since you have architecture and this is a sharper lens, I imagine you can pull the radius down on this. And for the sharpening, I'm going to pull this up to about 50. If I can find it. Here we go. But here's where the detail comes in. We hit the Alt key, slide the detail over till it looks about right. About 38 looks good to go. We can get the radius. We want to back off that radius. Yeah, about a 0.8. And hit the amount. Thinking, yeah, about 50 looks good on that. Now we just need to mask it out. So it's only on window areas, yeah. By default, it's on basically everything. Slide it over till it's off the window areas, only on the edge of the railings and the building detail. It's on about like 92. I'm thinking that's looking pretty good. So before, and we slide it back about 50. Let's see here. Yeah, 50 looks good. So yeah, that's how you'd want to do it on buildings to make it look the best. So let me turn that detail off. You know, quite good. So that's 2 to 1. Let me zoom out here. Go to 1 to 1. There we go. 1 to 1 here. Yeah, that's about really good on there on this particular building. Like sharpening amount of 49, a radius of 0.8, detail of 38, you know, masking 92. That's where it would look the best on this particular photo. Of course, zoomed out, you can hardly tell it, but that actually does the best for this. But anyway, maybe this helps people with sharpening stuff. I know sharpening is one of the things that's almost just a little taboo. A lot of people are kind of scared to mess with it. Not really sure exactly what all the tools done, so I hope I've helped explain them a little bit better. But that's it for this tutorial. Hope it's been helpful. If you like this tutorial, how about hitting the thumbs up? Thumbs up is always highly appreciated. If you're not a subscriber to my channel, be sure to subscribe. Subscribing is free. It's for you. And lets you know when I release more videos. Until next time, everyone, thank you for watching.